Larkhill Bird has been a major force on the open race scene for a couple of seasons now. She's trained by Michael Walsh near Carlisle. Michael's been involved in greyhound racing for some 40 years, but only took out a licence 2 years ago. Why the wait?
Purely business commitments restricted us to being really serious, because if you've got a family, you've got the kids to feed, you have a mortgage, and to the commitment the greyhound racing needed, I couldn't give it. Obviously, I had some good dogs and a lot of enjoyment, but my dogs were never ever to the peak. And it was only 2.5 years ago I decided that tomorrow is promised to nobody, and I'm going to live for today. And I did.
Larkhill Bird was bred in Australia and bought by Michael from the late Pat Whelan. He knew she'd make a great stayer, but with enough pace to drop down in distance, as they did for the Midland Oaks at Hall Green last year. Some people thought it was a touch ambitious, but watch her go from 3.
We were laughed at for doing that, but we knew she was a strong finisher. And make no mistake, Shelbourne Pooper, that was a good dog, but there was a lot of other good dogs in it. But she's a determined little bitch. It was her own, surely determination to put her through that.
Larkhill Bird finishing strong. Larkhill Bird getting up to win the Wafcol Midlands Oak final.
And I wouldn't be frightened, even to this day, of going back to a stiff 4 bends. It would have to be a stiff 4 bends, you know.
Her biggest win, though, on Sky and over 6 bends was in the Bet Direct Prestige earlier this year.
Entering the home straight, Westmid Olivia leading from Larkhill Bird. They're pulling on now. Up towards her in the line. It's going to be desperately close. Larkhill Bird on the inside by a head.
The Prestige triumph added to success in the Yorkshire St Ledger at Doncaster, a feat repeated this year when she defeated a high-class field to defend her title.
She's a bitch that needs a lot of work, which proved it this year at Doncaster. She ran on the Tuesday, and she was beaten off Shelbourne Reaney. Now 3 days later she came out, and the run had done her the world of good. You know, she ran in the final, which she won it, and then I ran her at Bellevue afterwards. Now that's the only time I felt she was taxed, not tired, but taxed.
What about the Cock of the North final at Bellevue, where she failed to pick up Charlie's Dream? Everyone thought coming off the final bench she'd pull away. Was there a similar issue there for her?
Purely beaten by a better dog on the night. Purely beaten by a better dog. I was gutted when I had to shake hands with Curious, man. But no, Otto Curious, it's a sport where, as you know, you get beat in football, you've got to shake the opposition's hand. And it's the same in dog racing. There's a lump in your throat and you're shaking hands with them, wanting to hit them. But no, to be honest, she was purely beaten by a better bitch on the night, you know. Charlie's Dream was on song, and good luck to them. They had done a better job than I did getting her ready.
If her racing career was to end tomorrow, would she owe you anything?
Far from it, no. No, you can't put a price on what she's given us. I mean, to be honest, this time next year, if Larkhill Bird wasn't running, you wouldn't know me. You won't. You know, it's only the bird that's gave us this enjoyment and pleasure. And what price do you put on pleasure? You can't. You know, you can't buy it. You can only get it. And the pleasure that she has given us it's way beyond belief. You know, what she's done. Pat Whelan done us a favour selling us her. And to be honest, I'll never ever forget him for that.
Are you now desperately going out to find that replacement for Larkhill Bird?
Virtually impossible. The only way I think we'd breed one. It is a nice feeling that to take a good dog on the track and think, you know, I mean, the luxury of Nick Sava, what he's bred, he can go on a track with 4 dogs and have the same feeling 4 times. Larkhill Bird gives us that once. So you're obviously looking for better dogs, but they would have to be in the north of England. You know, I couldn't have London dogs, put it that way, travel to London and that. I could win a Scottish derby if I had the right dog, but as I've said, I'll never win an English derby. Not from here, I won't.
That right dog for Scotland could be Michael's Zigzag Zipper, seen here winning a valuable final at Coventry recently. He's currently off the track, but big things are expected of him.
Zigzag Zipper, he's starting to give us a lot of pleasure. He's actually shown the potential that we knew he had, and it's starting to come out now. He asked, Mr. Pickering asked us to take the dog to Ireland, which are willingly done, but on hindsight, unknown to me, the dog had a virus, and it makes you look, it made us look kind of foolish when you think what they're taking that over to Ireland for. But it was convenient. It was 3 hours to Holyhead, an hour and a half over there into Dunleary, and then into Shelbourne, no problems. It was actually easier going to Shelbourne than it was to Wimbledon or Walthamstow. For us, it wasn't as tiring. But the dog had a virus, and I've never seen a virus like it. In fact, the dog's head went twice its size. I believe he looked like a Doberman when I went to the kennel, which I can laugh about now because the vets and antibiotics, and they've all cleared that. Touch wood, he should prosper, and I think, not to be clever, I think he will be a very, very, very good dog next year.
Michael has just 4 dogs in kennels set up at home, so personal attention is plentiful. As with all successful operations, routine is key. But the smaller kennel affords more one-to-one. An assistant trainer, young Jimmy here, helps Michael get the best out of his dogs. Tried and tested feeding mixed with modern training methods help Larkhill Bird and her kennel mates to produce the goods on the track. But does Michael have any other ambitions in the game?
Now, well, everybody's ambition is, it's the one word, the derby, isn't it? And it's the one word. I mean, Charlie Lister and Sava, I mean, they're probably sick of winning derbies. And but the likes of Mark Wallace and people like that, the Julie Batesons, we'd all want, I'll never win an English derby, but I would have the pleasure of a Scottish derby, purely because, as I've said, the geography of where we are in Britain, you know, it everybody's cup of tea, but a derby, the derby's got to be the main thing, you know.
Even if the derby doesn't come his way, Michael still has plenty to look forward to. There's the 2 kennel stars, plus the unexposed Castle Cromer and Rycroft Cheetah. And hopefully the good times will continue for the Walsh camp.
Last year and this year, it's the pinnacle. All the years I've been in it, I've never had the pleasure that I've had this last 2 years, and it's purely down to one man, the wheeling, and one bitch, the bird. It's purely, that's the last 2 years I've had have been more than exceptional. Worth getting up for in the morning.